Your hair should be washed once every 2 weeks, or more often if necessary, with water and...
As always, go and watch the original because then you'll get the context. I love this because my grandmother and my great aunts, no, their hair was washed once every 2 or 3 weeks, and they went to the hairdresser to do it. They never washed their hair at home, mainly because they were elderly ladies and they found bending over the sink very difficult. No, we didn't have a shower. Yes, my Aunt Elsie, I think, would wash her hair in the sink, even when she was quite old. She didn't like going to the hairdresser. She didn't like being mucked around. And they had short hair for that very reason. The reason that you didn't do it as often was kind of a hangover. By the 40s, a lot of women did have quite short hair and it was easier to dry. Don't forget that at that point, modern detergents, artificial detergents, did not exist. They were using soap. And anyone who's used soap in a bowl of hard water will know that it produces scum. And when you rinsed it, it would leave that in your hair, which meant that washing and rinsing your hair with soap was a much longer procedure. Took a very long time. And you had to rinse it. That's why you put the vinegar or the lemon juice in to help dissolve the soap scum and leave your hair clear. And prior to then, really, before the 1920s, when Eton crops and shingle cuts were common, most women had very long hair and they'd had no method of drying it. So to dry your hair, you would wash it, you would towel dry it. And again, turkey towels, the fluffy towels that we know today, weren't necessarily so common. A lot of towels were something called huckaback or linen, so they weren't as absorbent. And then you very carefully combed your hair and you had to dry it in front of the fire. And again, it took a very long time. People believed if you went to bed with wet hair that you could become ill. So they didn't go to bed with wet hair. And obviously with very long hair, you needed to get it dry, get it up, get it safe, put it in a plait so it didn't tangle. There was a lot involved with washing hair. And that hung on right into the 40s. And after that, in the 50s and 60s, we did start to get the synthetic detergents, which worked much better and were much easier to rinse out. And certainly by the time I remember the late 60s, hair conditioner was starting to become a thing. There were 3 sorts of shampoo if you went to the hairdresser. There was almond for dry hair. There was egg and lemon for normal hair. And there was, what was the one for rosemary, I think? Egg and lemon was for greasy hair, I think. But there was almond, egg and lemon, and I think it was rosemary shampoo. And then you could pay extra for the conditioner, but an extra, I don't know, a couple of pence for that. And then women would go to the hairdresser, they would have their hair shampooed and set. It would be shampooed, it would be set on big rollers, and they would put onto those big hood dryers that you see to sit for half an hour, and then the hairdresser would comb it all out beautifully, cover it in hairspray, and that would be done for 2 or 3 weeks. Now, hair was kept clean, especially longer hair, by brushing. Again, don't forget that modern brushes with the fine plastic stiff bristles didn't exist. Bristles were natural. They came from boars and they were bristles, softer. So you brushed your hair, and that thing about 100 strokes came from when women brushed their hair and had long hair. So 100 strokes every night with a fine bristle brush. The oil that your scalp produced, you brushed it down the shaft of the hair, and the hairbrush would pick up the dust and the dirt that your hair had accumulated through the day. And you would wash your brushes semi-regularly to make sure that they were clean. And the dirt from your hair would transfer to the brush, and you would smooth the oil down the shaft of the hair to keep it in good condition and to keep it shiny. So, yes, things have changed an awful lot.